What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are a monster. You are a pedophile. You're a child molester. Do you understand me? Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court. And make sure you let your husband know that you like the 13-year-old boys. And I am coming for you.
That is a father on the phone, talking to his son's teacher, his 6th grade teacher, and she does not hang up. She does not deny it. She asks if they can meet outside of court to settle things. Let that sit with you for a second. A 27-year-old woman, married, college-educated, teacher of the year, standing in front of a classroom full of children every single day. And this is where it ends up. Today on Unseen Stories, we are talking about the case of Britney Zamora. And trust me, this one does not let up. Now, before we get into everything, I want to take a moment and just set the table here. Because this is not just a story about one person making one bad decision. This is a story about trust. About the kind of trust that parents place in a school system when they drop their child off every morning. The kind of trust a child places in an adult who is supposed to guide them. And what happens when that trust gets completely shattered. This case happened in 2018 in Goodyear, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. And the reason it made national headlines, the reason we are still talking about it today, is because of how it was uncovered, how it unfolded, and what it revealed about the systems that are supposed to protect our children. So let us get into it. Britney Zamora was by all outward appearances a woman who had figured life out early. She grew up with a difficult childhood. But she did not let that stop her. She went on to graduate from Arizona State University with high honors. She became a teacher. She got married to a man who by all accounts deeply loved her. She built a life, a real one. By 2018, she was 27 years old and working as a 6th grade teacher at Las Brisas Academy in Goodyear, Arizona. And from everything we can piece together from the people around her, the students, the staff, the community, she was well liked, popular even. Her students enjoyed being in her class. She had energy. She had personality. She connected with kids in a way that made her stand out. In 2016, she had even won Teacher of the Year. So on the surface, everything looked right. Everything looked good. And that is exactly what makes this case so hard to process. Because underneath all of that, underneath the awards and the smile and the marriage and the career, something was very wrong. Now I want to be clear about something before we go further. We are not here to sensationalize this. We are here to talk about what actually happened, what the evidence showed, and what we as a community need to take from it. Because there are real lessons in this story. Lessons that matter. So let us talk about how it started. It started the way a lot of things start these days. With a message. Britney had a class communication app called Classcraft. Teachers use apps like this to stay connected with their students about assignments, announcements, things like that. One day while she was away from school, Britney posted to the class that she was going to be out and that students were welcome to message her because she would be bored. Now think about that for just a moment. A teacher telling a classroom full of 12 and 13-year-olds to message her because she is bored. That right there should have raised a flag for somebody. But at the time, nobody thought much of it. One student responded, "We are going to protect his identity throughout this entire video and refer to him simply as Adam." Adam reached out through the app, and what started as a casual back and forth gradually became something else entirely. The conversation moved from the class app to Instagram direct messages. And the tone of those messages shifted from teacher and student to something completely inappropriate. According to what Adam later told investigators, Britney was the one who escalated things. She was the one who introduced language that had no business being in a conversation between a teacher and a 12-year-old child. And once that door was opened, she kept pushing it further. She told him she loved him. She sent him photographs of herself. She drove to where he was staying one night, at his grandparents' house, because her husband was away. She told Adam to come outside to her car. And what happened in that car is the reason Britney Zamora is sitting in a prison cell right now. And it did not stop there. There was a second incident. This one at the school itself. During a talent show event, after most people had cleared out, Britney and Adam were alone in her classroom. A second student, we will call him Ben, was also present. Ben was not a direct victim in the same way Adam was, but what he witnessed in that classroom was something no child should ever have to see. And the way he described it later to investigators was heartbreaking in its simplicity. He was a child trying to make sense of something that made no sense. Ben told investigators, "I was one of the witnesses or one of the people that saw Zamora and my friend touch each other. It was very uncomfortable. So that's why the second day they're doing stuff, I just left the room. Just left the room." He was a child. And he just left the room because he did not know what else to do. Now here is something that does not get talked about enough in cases like this. The second victim is not always the one who was directly harmed in a physical sense. Sometimes the second victim is the one who saw it, the one who carried it, the one who had to figure out what to do with information that was too heavy for any child to hold. Ben carried that. And that matters. Meanwhile, the inappropriate communication between Britney and Adam was continuing through Instagram. Messages back and forth, daily. And the language in those messages was not the language of a teacher and her student. Adam described it later in his own words during his interview with investigators. He talked about how it started with small things. A winky face here. A term of endearment there. And then it escalated. He said, "She said, 'Are you going to come?' And I was like, 'I don't think so, I might though.' And she was like, 'Oh, salty babe.' Now, a teacher calling her 12-year-old student babe. And nobody around them caught it. Not right away. Because Britney was careful. She knew what she was doing. She moved the conversation off the school app onto a private platform. She communicated with him in ways that seemed casual on the outside. She was calculated about it. But here is the thing about calculated moves. Eventually the math catches up with you. Adam's parents had installed a monitoring application on his phone. The app was called Bark, and it was specifically designed to alert parents when certain words or patterns showed up in their child's messages. And one evening, Adam's father started getting alerts back to back. The word that kept triggering those alerts? Baby. The father sat down and went through the messages. He read the full conversation. And there at the bottom of the thread was something that confirmed his worst suspicion. Britney Zamora's Instagram profile name. A name he recognized because she had previously messaged him directly about tutoring. He knew exactly who it was. He brought his wife in. They looked at it together. And then they sat their son down and had the kind of conversation no parent ever wants to have. They told Adam they already knew. They asked him to be honest. And Adam was. He confirmed that yes, he and his teacher had been involved in an inappropriate relationship. And that it had gone beyond messages. What that father felt in that moment, I cannot fully put into words. But what he did next tells you everything about the kind of man he is. He picked up the phone. He called Britney Zamora directly. And he recorded every single second of it.
What type of perverted person are you? I want to know right now. You are a monster. You are a pedophile. You're a child molester. Do you understand me? Do me a favor. Do not call this number back again. The next time you'll hear from me will be in court. And make sure you let your husband know that you like the 13-year-old boys. And I am coming for you.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a wonderful evening, okay, you stupid.
Can you explain to me? Can we meet, to talk about this?
Miss-
Is there something we can settle out, outside?
Oh yeah, that's what we can do, so I can give you a chance to do it to some other kid. Yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. No, Ms. Zamora, do me a favor. Do not call me back again. Do you understand me? Make sure you tell your husband what's going on.
He is right here. Can he talk to you?
Oh yeah, put your husband on the phone. I'm more than happy to talk to that too.
Hey, man.
Hey, don't say hey man to me. You got a monster. If I was you, you stupid I'd leave her.
Man, listen.
No, listen to me, you stupid I'll cave your stupid head. Do you want to? I'd love to put my...
I want to stop here for a second. Because that husband, Daniel Zamora, is a significant part of this story. Not because of anything he did wrong, but because of what he endured. This man had no idea what was happening in his own home, in his own marriage. He found out the same way the rest of the world did. And even then, even after all of that, he stood by her. He forgave her. He showed up for her through the legal process. And after everything was said and done, after she was sentenced, Britney filed for divorce. She left him. The man who stood by her through all of it. She left him. I'm not going to say much more about that. I think it speaks for itself. Now back to the timeline. After that phone call, the father wasted no time. He went directly to Las Brisas Academy and met with school officials and the school resource officer. He laid everything out. The app, the messages, the conversation with his son, the recorded phone call with Britney. Everything. The school resource officer, Officer McFadden, led the meeting, and the father walked them through exactly how it came to light. He said,
I know you already know a little bit about where we're at now, so Mrs. Zamora's been placed on administrative leave. She won't be coming in today, and she'll be on administrative leave pending the investigation. And she's not to have any contact with any district employees, any students or parents.
She's only contacted us.
Okay. My question is kind of how did this all begin?
How did
we find out?
Correct. Yes. How did it come to light?
So I have an app on my son's phone.
Okay.
We got him a new phone, and he was wanting to shut his door at night. No one told him, you sleep with the door open. He was just showing more. And I had a conversation with him, and he says, yeah, I talk to girls, but they're just my friends. So when we got the new phone, I put this app on his phone, and it alerts me. It's called Sentry to Back, because the word baby kept being used. So I'm reading through the conversations, and I've done this before with other conversations of his as well. But this time I saw at the bottom that it had Mrs. Zamora Instagram profile.
Okay.
It was her name. And I'm familiar with her profile name because she's messaged me through Instagram as well, tutoring and offering help. And so I recognized, and I told my husband, and we looked it over, and then what confirmed it is her first name was used in the conversation, where either he wrote it or she wrote it.
Okay.
And they put last name. And so then the conversation just kept on, and it was like he was talking to a girl, like his girlfriend. So I showed my husband the conversation, and then when he came home, we talked to my son, and we told him, we need you to be completely honest right now. We already know the answer to everything we're going to ask, so we just need you to tell us the truth.
Okay.
So we showed him the conversation, and we said, who is this? Who are you talking to? And he said, my teacher.
Okay.
So then my husband, we're very blunt with our kids, and we're open, and we've had conversations with him growing up and all that is expected. And so my husband just told him,
Okay.
have you done anything with your teacher? Did you have sex with your teacher? And he said yes.
He said yes. Okay.
From there, investigators arranged a formal interview with Adam. A forensic interviewer was brought in, someone trained specifically to speak with children in these kinds of situations. The goal was to make Adam feel safe enough to share what happened without any pressure or leading questions. And what Adam shared in that interview painted a very clear picture of exactly how this relationship developed. He explained how the communication started through Classcraft and moved to Instagram. He talked about how Britney would send him messages that felt like she was talking to a boyfriend, not a student. He described specific details, what kind of car she drove, what she was wearing, where they met. Details that an investigator would use to verify and corroborate his account. He said,
Tell me about it. Start at the beginning. Tell me everything, no matter how small the details are, no matter how unimportant you think everything is.
Like from the very beginning, like how it all started.
Like from the very beginning, how it all started.
Well, I was texting my teacher on Classcraft because she made an announcement to the class that she was going to be at school, and for us to text her because she'll be bored. So she said to text her so she wouldn't be bored. And I said, "I'm Zamora," and then she texted back, "Hi," and then we just started texting. I can't remember all we texted, but then she was like, "Would it be weird if I sent you a winky face?" I was like, "No, it's just a winky face, LOL." And then we kept texting, and I don't remember all we texted, but I was in my room, and she said, she was like, "I was bored." She said, "I'm bored." I said, "LOL, I am too." And then she said, "Come over," and I said, "On my way." And put the car, and I was like, "JK." And then we were talking about a school dance, and she said, "Are you gonna come?" And I was like, "I don't think so, I might though." And she was like, "Oh, Salty Bay," and she called herself Bay. And I was like, and I just brushed off. I was like, "LOL." And then I don't remember talking. I don't remember what else we talked about. And like everything else, I don't remember. But yeah, we would flirt a lot. Like, and we would like be out at recess, and I would talk to her, and we would flirt at recess. And then our principal said that we couldn't do that. We couldn't talk at recess no more. That I needed to go hang out because other kids were getting like jealous that I was talking to her and not them. And so I stopped talking to her at recess. And then I would just keep texting. I would text her, and she texted me, and she was all like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey." She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm about to go to bed. I'm at my grandparents' house." She's like, "Are you alone?" And I was like, "Well, they're all sleeping, so sorta." And she's like, "Let me come over." I was like, "LOL." And then she's like, "No, I'm serious." And then she's already said this before to me, but I was playing with my little brother outside in my house, and she was all like, "Let me come over so I can show you how much I love you." And I was like, "No, my little brother's here." And she was like, "Okay," and then she put the sad face. I was like, "I gotta go." And then she was all like, "Okay, I love you." And I said, "I love you too." But she was all like, "Where are you? Where is your grandparents' house?" I'm like, I was like, and then she's like, "Okay, send me the address," because her husband was fishing. And I got into the car, and she started like kissing me, and then she gave me
How all of this made him feel, Adam said. Right here in my stomach just hurts, so I can't feel good. Right here in my stomach just hurts. He was 12 years old, and that is how he was carrying it. Quietly, physically, in his body. The way children carry things that are too big for them. Now I want to talk about something that a lot of people overlook in this story, and that is the role that technology played on both sides of this case. Britney used technology to communicate with Adam in ways she thought were private and untraceable. She moved conversations from a school app to a personal social media platform. She sent photographs through Instagram. She was deliberately using digital tools to hide what she was doing. But those same digital tools are what exposed her. The monitoring app that Adam's father installed on that phone, that app is what triggered the alerts. That app is what gave the father access to those messages. That app is what started the chain of events that led to Britney Zamora's arrest. There is a lesson in that, and it is not a small one. We live in a digital age, and our children are navigating spaces online that we as parents sometimes do not fully understand or monitor. This case is a direct example of what parental awareness and the right tools can do. That father did not just happen to find those messages. He was paying attention. He had systems in place, and those systems worked. Now let us talk about the arrest. After the school meeting, investigators moved quickly. They had the messages. They had Adam's account. They had the recorded phone call. And they had enough to bring Britney Zamora in. She was picked up on her way and taken into custody. The arresting officer had a body camera running the entire time. And what that footage captured was a woman who seemed almost detached from the gravity of what was happening around her. She asked about her jewelry. She asked about her car. She asked if she could take her nose ring out. She was calm in a way that felt almost unsettling given the circumstances. At one point during the booking process, with no prompting at all, she said, "I have the best husband in the world." She said that, in the middle of being processed for what she had done. The best husband in the world. A man she would later divorce while he was still standing by her side. At the station, a detective sat down with her and gave her the opportunity to tell her side of the story. He was measured. He was respectful. He told her.
Did they tell you why you're here? They didn't tell you why you're under arrest?
No.
Okay. It's involving that relationship with... Okay. So I told you a little bit ago that I was going to come and talk to you and give you the opportunity to tell me what's going on. Okay. Obviously, we both know why you're here. How long have you, or where do you work right now, Brittany?
Las Brisas Academy.
And how long have you been there?
Since July.
What's your first year?
Well, at that school.
At that school. And where were you before that?
Littleton Elementary School.
And how long were you there?
From July 2013 to May 2017.
And what's your position right now?
Sixth grade teacher.
You said this is the first time you've been in trouble.
I mean,
Yeah, and you're 27, so you made it a long ways. So I'm not going to judge you, and people do make mistakes. So there's mistakes that are made in life, and they happen, and it's basically how people move on from those is kind of who they are as a person. So I'm not going to deny that, that it's something, and I'm sure you're not either, that it's something that shouldn't have happened. But I'm not going to call you a monster or anything like that and say you did something so, crazy that you're a horrible person. So I wanted you to explain, how this came to happen.
Can I wait to have an attorney?
You can. Is that what you want? Okay. All right.
I just don't know if I go traveling.
That's fine.
Will I be going home today?
No.
So will I be in jail? Do these type of things have to be made public?
They don't have to be made public, but you've kind of been in the school industry long enough to know that when something happens at a school, letters.
Britney Zamora was charged with multiple serious felony offenses related to her conduct with Adam. She was also charged in connection with conduct involving Ben. The court set her bond at $250,000 with strict conditions: electronic monitoring, no contact with any victims or witnesses, no contact with any minors. Her case moved through the court system over the following months. And in 2019, Britney Zamora entered a guilty plea on 3 felony counts. At her sentencing hearing, she was given the opportunity to address the court. She stood up and she read a statement. And I want you to listen to this carefully because it tells you a lot about where her head was even at that point. She said,
She would like to reach the podium, Your Honor. Certainly. Good morning, Your Honor. I want to start off by apologizing to the victim and his family. I'm sorry for any undue stress or pain that I may have caused. I'm ashamed of my actions and am completely remorseful and truly regret what took place. I'm known to be a responsible, caring, happy, and thoughtful person. My actions were completely out of character for me. As an adult and teacher, I am meant to set an example, and I did not follow according to that expectation. Prior to this incident, I have been an amazing teacher and citizen. I started programs while teaching to help stop bullying, teach girls about nutrition, fitness, create fundraisers to help with autism, and help families in need. Filled 25 plus desks with school supplies each year, and even won Teacher of the Year in 2016. As far as a citizen goes, I've lived my life respecting and trying to obey every law. I am not a threat to society by any means. On the contrary, I have tried to help our society as much as I can. This includes helping out the homeless, volunteering for the city, and giving time to assist with church programs. Over the past 16 months, I have grown within my faith, and that has helped me not only get through each day, but has led me to reflect on how sincerely I took life for granted. A life that I've been working so hard to set up for a successful and bountiful future. I would do anything to re-enter society sooner for a second chance. This sentencing is not only taking decades of my own life and experiences away, but those of my loved ones as well. My family knows who I am and my heart, so it is just as hard on them. Therefore, I would also like to apologize to them. As stated earlier, I never want to hurt anyone, and it tears me apart to know that I have, and I'm deeply sorry. Going forward, I would like to attend counseling and all other required courses. I obtain a new degree and seek new employment. I have already relinquished my teaching certification. My hope is to rejoin society a better and more grateful person. I have an incredible support system and know they will all be there for me every step of the way. Your Honor, I know the state did not take my mitigation and assessments into consideration, but I hope you can. I am a good and genuine person who made a mistake and regrets it deeply. I ask that you please have leniency in regards to my sentencing, that you see me as a person with a hopeful future and not just another number or case. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Now I listened to that statement carefully, multiple times, and here is what stands out to me. She lists everything she did right. She talks about her programs, her awards, her faith, her community service. She talks about what this sentencing is taking from her and from her family. She apologizes to the victim, but the apology is brief. It is at the top of the statement, and then the rest of it is about Britney, her future, her support system, her second chance. Adam's mother also addressed the court, and her words were different in every way. She described what her son had been through, how this had affected him, how his innocence had been taken from him, how the damage to a child at that age does not just disappear when the case is closed. She said she hoped Britney would never have children of her own. That is the voice of a mother who watched her child carry something he should never have had to carry. The judge considered everything: Britney's lack of prior criminal history, her age, her difficult upbringing, her community support, the mental health information submitted by her attorney, the risk assessment, the terms of the plea agreement, and after weighing all of it, the court handed down the sentence. 20 years. 20 calendar years in the Arizona Department of Corrections. She is scheduled for release in March of 2038. She will be in her late 40s when she walks out. She will be a registered sex offender for the rest of her life. She will be on supervised probation for a lifetime term after her release. Her teaching certification is gone. Her marriage is gone. The career she spent years building is gone. Now, after the sentencing, Britney's attorney made a public statement. And I have to be honest with you, this statement is one of the more remarkable things to come out of this entire case. The attorney attempted to reframe the entire situation. She suggested that Adam had actually been manipulating Britney, that he was the aggressor, that he had been specifically seeking out identifying information about her body for reasons that were never clearly explained. She kept referring to Adam, a 13-year-old child, as a teenager with boundary issues. She said, "Britney is not a predator." And this was not between a young child and Britney. This was a teenager. The teenager had boundary issues. A teenager with boundary issues. That is how her attorney chose to describe a 13-year-old child who was in a position of zero power relative to his teacher. A child who trusted the adult in that classroom. A child who deserved protection and got the opposite. I'm not going to spend too much time on that statement because I think the court already addressed it with a 20-year sentence. But I will say this. When the defense strategy involves shifting focus to the child, it says a lot about how little accountability was truly being taken even at the end. Now let us bring this home. Because this story is not just about Britney Zamora. It is about something bigger. And I want to talk to you directly about what we take from this. First, parental awareness is not paranoia. A lot of parents go back and forth about monitoring their children's phones. There are real conversations to be had about privacy and trust. But this case shows us that a parent who is paying attention, who has the right tools in place, can be the difference between a child suffering in silence and a child getting the protection they need. Adam's father did not just stumble onto those messages. He was already watching. And when the alert came, he acted immediately. That matters. Second, titles do not equal character. Teacher of the Year, college graduate, married homeowner. None of those things tell you who a person actually is when no one is looking. We give a lot of people a lot of trust based on the roles they hold. And sometimes that trust is not earned. We have to teach our children, and ourselves, that authority figures deserve respect but not blind trust. There is a difference. Third, the children in this story, both Adam and Ben, deserve better from every system around them. The other students in the classroom noticed something was off. They brought it to the principal. And initially it was dismissed as kids stirring up rumors. The first line of defense missed it. It was a parent with a phone app who finally broke it open. That should not have been the case. Schools need to take student concerns seriously, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it involves a popular, well-liked teacher. Britney Zamora will be in prison until 2038, and when she gets out, she will carry the weight of what she did for the rest of her life. But Adam will carry something too, and Ben will carry something. And Daniel Zamora, the husband who stood by her through all of it only to be left, he is carrying something as well. That is the real cost of this. Not the headlines, not the trial, The people. The real people whose lives were permanently altered by one person's choices. This is Unseen Stories, and we do not just tell you what happened. We ask you to sit with why it matters, because these are not just cases. These are communities. These are families. These are children. Stay safe out there. Watch who you trust. Watch who your children trust. And keep showing up for each other. We will see you on the next one.